Hello and very good afternoon to all our viewers. You're watching www.ThePapare.com and this is Singer Schools Rugby League 2016 under sunny and hot humid conditions here at the Havelock Park. And today's game is going to be between Isipathana College hosting St.Peters College. Isipathana, of course, unbeaten so far. They played 3 games and they won 3 games with some good score margins. And of course, as you can see on your screen, the team huddled just on the warm-up sessions. And in this game, I'm sure the teams don't want to work hard in the warm-up, especially in this hot and humid conditions. Also joining me in the commentary box is Paul Toya. Paul, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for the welcome. I'm excited to be here. Looks like it's going to be a great game. There's great conditions for running rugby, and both teams are up for it, so they're motivated to get a win in. Peters have had 1 loss. Isipathana has had none, so it'll be a good, tight battle, I'd imagine, today.
Absolutely, Paul. The Peters must be absolutely disappointed after their loss against in the week 2 clash, and also on the other hand, Isipathana would feel a little confident after winning. But there is in 2013 or 14, if I'm not mistaken, they drew 25 all on the contest. So it's 2014, so this game would be a really key game, especially for both the teams. Of course, it was even a key, interesting battle between those 2 coaches. Colin Dinesh, of course, very experienced former Havelocks player, and Nilfa Ibrahim, of course, former Candy player, and he has tons of experience as well. So what sort of a game plan it's going to be, especially in this heat contact?
I'd imagine the coaches won't have any problem motivating their players. So what I'd be saying if I was the coach, I'd be saying let's just keep a lid on all our emotions and let's play rugby. Let's our skills and our patterns of play, let that come through. And what happens sometimes is that we find emotion takes over and knock-ons can happen. And emotion's great when it comes to contact, and that'll definitely come into play. But they'll just want to play their patterns of play and get their style right first.
Indeed, good to see crowd in numbers, Paul, and they don't mind actually the weather. Although the other side of the pavilion, it's still pretty empty, but hopefully the crowd will turn in. And there's Father Rector of St. Peters, and of course Trinesh, one of the long servant for St. Peters. That's in the grandstand, of course. It's too humid, Paul. Good to see numbers coming in. And also talking about Isipathana perspective, they lost one of their true legend of the game, Sajid Mallikarachi. He just died last, 4-5 days ago. And that's a sad loss. Former Sri Lanka captain, he captained the country during 2005 and 6, and of course played for Kandy Sports Club almost a decade.
Well, every rugby player will feel that. He would have been part of the community here, the rugby community and the rugby family, and so that'll give Isipathana more motivation to play today. They'll be playing for him, playing for his memory, and he'll be remembered before the game, I'm sure.
So let's have a look at the team cards. First up, Isipathana, the home team, and it's starting with Madhushan, Mahapitagama, the hooker, and Vishwajit. That's interesting move. The big ball carrier. He used to play as number 8. He used to play as a lock forward, but this time he's playing at the tight head position. And S. Gayanath and Manabarana in the lock combination, and Veeratunga and Gunaratna, the younger brother of Omalka Gunaratna, the last year captain, and in the flank combination between Veeratunga. And at the number 8 back of the scrum would be VK Veeraratna. And the scrum of Hettiarachi, he had a good game last week as well. And the key player Ruberu, he's starting today at the fly half position. And then in the wing it's Fernando, and the captain Silva, Kushan Indonil Silva, the center. He had a good game. He scored a hat-trick, and also Rankodge, his center partner Padma Sanka in the other wing, and little Vikramaratne, the fullback. He will be interesting to watch when he is with the ball. He has so much dancing footwork where he gets the ball every time he makes some good yards. So that is the Isipathana team card. And we'll go with the St. Peters team card now. We have Bianvilla starting. Yapa once again at the hooker position. He played so far so well for the Peterites. And Disanayaka and Delpa Chitra. Now this is another interesting move. He started as a lock forward and then he was moved as a tight head last week. Now back again in the lock combination with Nanayakara. So Pereira Gurusingha Premawardana in the back three of the scrum. And Avishka Heenpal, he will be a key player today because he makes loads of decision. He was so good on the wet condition last week against St. Anthony's. And Diaz Fernando, of course, the winger. He used to play as number 13 in the outside centre, but he was playing in the right wing. Stefan Sivaraj, of course, the fly half, another key player. And Dasanayak, Teekshana Heshan, he is a big ball carrier. Scored a hat-trick in the first game. In fact, 4 tries rather. And then Ratnayaka and Jaya Vikrama. So that's the St. Peters team card for you. And looking at the replacements, we have Jayaman, Ekanayaka, Adrian, Yasas, Nilamuddin, who also had a good game. Nilamuddin, remember he scored a try against St. Anthony's. Fernando, Bandara, Ahmed, Chamindu and Silva for Isipathana College. And replacement for St. Peters College would be Fernando, Udukumbura, Rodrigo, Seram, Zaruk, and SN Fernando, Wimaladas, Dilshan, Asau, and Teekshan and Nonis would be the replacements. So teams are out at the middle waiting for the team introduction. Probably they will have a minute of silence in memory of the legend Sajid Mallikarachi. Good afternoon, Shanaka.
Good afternoon, Sabir. Good to be finally here. Friday evening meetings are a bit of a curse, but good to get them out of the way before the rugby starts. Looking to be a very interesting game, Paul, this one. First real test for Isipathana against a big, well-drilled set of forwards. They've beaten all comers already this season, but that's because they've met teams that are probably not the best equipped in terms of forward play. This one is going to be probably their toughest match in terms of coming up against a set of forwards who can really physically take them on up front. How do you see that upsetting this fast-running Isipathana side?
I saw them warming up actually before the match, and the intensity is there in their eyes. You can see them; they were eyeing off the Isipathana team, and I think they can't wait for the battle. They're very keen to get into a bit of contact, and there was a lot of contact in their warm-up. So I'm looking forward to the battle up front. But with Isipathana scoring 150 points, more than 150 points in their first 3 games, they'll be wondering, are they ready? You know, they haven't been tested yet. You know, what are they going to be like when they're put under pressure? And that question is going to be asked today.
How do you prepare for that, Paul? Because you can't choose your opposition in the opening rounds of the league fixtures. You can't decide what sort of quality you need to play against. But from a coaching point of view, in practice, how do you prepare for a team like St. Peters?
Well, they'll know that the 8, the forwards, the tight 5, that's where the battle will be won. And so the week leading up to it, there'll be a lot of contact. There'll be a lot of physical battles going on, and that's how you prepare your team for that sort of endeavour. But as far as the season's concerned and your fixtures, you just have to take what you get and you make the best of it. So you've had 3 weaker teams, you've scored a lot of points, but that means you've got a lot of confidence. So you take that on board and you build with that and you work with that.
St. Peters, of course, unlucky to have lost against Science College already. They were leading that game for a major part of that match. Led Science back into within 1 score, and then they did manage to score a superb breakaway try where the ball, lucky bounce of the ball right into the hands of the youngest of the Maduranga brothers, and he ran in under the post to give them a 13-10 win when St. Peters had been leading 10-0 right up to almost the final whistle of that game. So St. Peters will be the ones who want to convert that pressure into points today, but we stand for the moment of silence in memory of Sajid Mallikarachi. We'll be back after that.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Isipathana College taking on St. Peters, the team introduction.
Isipathana hosting St. Peters today in a week where it has been difficult for them to realize the passing away of one of their legends, really, Sajid Mallikarachi, the middle brother of that Mallikarachi family which boasted Bandula Mallikarachi, also captained Isipathana. In the early 90s, Sajid captained in 1990s. Sajid captained in 97, I believe it was, or he was one of the senior players in 1997. Vajra Hevage captained in 1997, and his younger brother Chabi or Lasanta Mallikarachi played very good rugby for Isipathana and CRNFC as well. And Sajid went on to captain Kandy Sports Club to a couple of trebles and also Sri Lanka in 2006. So an absolute legend of the game, and many of the Isipathanians here in the crowd today have sacrificed their green shirts, their green supporter jerseys, for a white shirt in memory of Sajid Mallikarachi. Dilroy Fernando, one of the more celebrated referees in Sri Lanka, is going to be introduced to the two teams today as the chief guest. Always good to see Dilo back on the rugby field in whatever capacity. Used to be one of our best referees, probably the best referee that we ever produced, Paul. And I'm sure the guy blowing the whistle would hope to do 50% of the job that he used to be doing those days.
That's right. If we can, a referee's job is always. You see how good the referee is when the referee isn't seen at all actually in the games, and he just lets the game flow, and that's what we'll be hoping today. And what a beautifully observed minute of silence for the memory of a great rugby player, and it's great to see how it just draws everyone back into being. Reminding everyone that we're all part of a rugby family. There's your team, yes, but there's also the opposition, and we're all part of a rugby family.
Yes, that's something that's very important to mention, Paul, especially in a very fractured, fragmented schools league sometimes, that it is a game that brings everyone together. And speaking of bringing people together, very happy to have Mohammed Rinas here in our commentary box. We'll be talking to him at length, maybe at half time. Good news to have you back in the country, Rinas, one of the fastest swingers that Sri Lanka ever produced and St. Peters ever produced. How do you see your school performing today?
Thanks. Thank you, Shanaka. Thanks for having me here and for the intro. I think we have a decent chance today. I haven't seen them playing this season, but I spoke to Sharif and he said we have a decent chance and we have a good set of backline three-quarters. So hopefully we'll get a win today after the disappointing results from Science. We'll bounce back and hopefully we'll lead the table again by winning the game today.
Yeah, it should be a very interesting battle, mate. Rinas, good to have you back in the country. Your backline is good, but not nearly as good as when Sharif and you were in it, I'm sure.
I'm sure. We had a pretty decent backline during that time, but I think boys looked pretty fit. They have done their homework as well, so hopefully we should be fine today. It will be a very good battle. As always, it's one of the St. Peters games. It will be a tight game, I think. Hopefully we'll stick to the game plan and we can come up with the result.
Super, Rinas. We'll talk to you a little bit more at half-time once we've seen 40 minutes of this action. And here's your team running out now. The Peterites led by Sandesh Jayavikrama. Sandesh Jayavikrama, sorry about that. Who's going to have a lot on his plate today. He's wearing the number 15 jersey. Where will he pop up on the field? Will he be at first receiver? Will he play at fly half? Will he play at fullback? Lots resting on this halves combination for St. Peters as well. That's one area where perhaps Isipathana have not been as good as in other areas. Their halves combination, can they control the game with as much aplomb as they did last year? That's the question that's going to be asked. Paul, it's a lovely afternoon. It's a lot of sun. How would you see this game kicking off? Who would you think will have the better of the first exchanges?
As a back, I'm always happy to see the forwards smash into each other right off the kickoff. But generally, you want to be the one who's chasing the ball, and you're the one who's going to put your shoulder to the wheel first and have first contact.
Tinka Pierce, the man who is in charge of today. He will be very strict at the start, I'm sure, as he generally is. And St. Peters turned things around very early on by going to the backs with the kickoff instead of the forwards. Kushan Indunil takes it well, the captain. And the other captain, Sandesh Jayavikrama, puts it up high. And well collected there by the Isipathana 10. That was Ruberu. Sloppy hands first up. Few nervous exchanges yet. But Isipathana have managed to structure this ball and gives it away to Hettiarachi, and now Sandesh Javikrama. He's got space on his outside, looking for the runners. That's a line break. Avishka Hinpalla goes to ground, but he's got support. That's a good run from Kavisha Madhushan, breaking into the 22. Good start from St. Peters here, putting immediate pressure. Sivaraj. Now he's got the ball out wide, but the prop cuts back in. Another inside ball once again to Madhushan. It's available, and Sivaraj goes blindside, throws the dummy, looks for the pass on the inside. There isn't one. Another phase. Avishka Hinpalla gives it to his big forward runner. They drive them over the line. Just short, is it? Managed to get it back. Hinpalla again. That's offside. And now Kavisha Madhushan throws the dummy, and he's over. First blood for St. Peters. That was a beautiful passage of play after the ball was turned over. Kavisha Madhushan carried the ball about 3 times in that move, did the initial break into the 22 and finished it off, Paul, with a dummy that I'm sure a back would have been proud of.
It was a lovely dummy, and I'm sure after the game he'll be telling everyone he did it from 25 metres out. But the pressure that they were putting on when Isipathana had the ball, you saw there Isipathana's number 10 take a big hit. The ball got turned over, and here we are close to the line. The ruck.
That's where it's being recycled. So it was good patience here from Hinpalla. Quickly changed direction, found Madhushan, threw the dummy, and it was not a great tackle by Ruberu there. Should really have done a lot better, especially at that distance. Just up and take the man. It was Rankotge, I think it was, who missed the tackle. Sivaraj did well to get it out, the number 10. So good recycling, Paul. That's the change of angle there. That did the trick.
The halfback for St. Peters has really taken the game by the scruff of the neck already in the first couple of minutes. He's made a break. His ball distribution's been great. He's done a little ball on the inside, and also there he saw that the player came up quick and knew that there'd be space on the blind side, and took advantage of it, and they scored.
Yes, that was intelligent play, and as Rinaz was talking about, that was Mohammed Sharif in the red shirt standing by while Sivaraj took that kick. His old teammate, now turned coach, poacher turned gamekeeper. So early blow for St. Peters, and this is what I was talking about, Paul, against these big on-rushing forwards. How are Isipathana going to stand up? That's going to be the test of the next 75 minutes. So it's here now for Vikramaratne to kick off. That was a huge undercut, but done very well to bring the player down safely. Good play there, Hinpalla. Now they're looking to move it. Are they a little burst of confidence? Sivaraj plays scrum half. Now they've got some space. Dikshanation. They drag him into touch.
So it looks like St. Peters are going to ask the question, are you up for the contact, and are you ready for this game? And in the first couple of minutes it looked like Isipathana had been found wanting, and the centre got across there and had made a great hit close to the line and drove the winger out.
Yes, that was a good bit of tackling, but Dikshanation really needs to be able to step back into the field of play. The first line out of the game goes well for Isipathana. Ruberu hands it off to his captain Kushan Idunil. Big run from the skipper. He'll need to calm his troops down. Ruberu again to lovely dummy. Outstanding bit of play from Vikramaratne there. Breaks into the 22, and now the on-rushing forwards. That's a huge hit on Gayanath. This game is already firing on all cylinders. Indunil, Rankotge for the corner. Lovely inside ball, and it's a try. This game is a thrill a minute. Wonderful work there from Rankotge. Padmasankar streaming to the corner, and it was a lovely inside ball that Hettiarachi scored with. What an outstanding try there, Paul.
What a cracking match. You'd think that 2 tries in the first 5 minutes, that there's no defence, but it's been the complete opposite. There's been some great hits, some great tackling, but the ball movement has shown that both teams are up for this game, and they really want to score points.
My apologies, that was Veeratunga actually who scored there, the flanker doing as he should. and backing up the ball carrier. Lovely little inside ball. Let's watch it here. This is the pass that really sets it up. That's one there. Lovely ball in front of the hands for Padmasankar. Throws a little inside ball. And it was a good tackle in the end, but just not good enough as Veeratunga fell over as a winger. What do you think of that bit of finishing, Rinas?
I think that's top class finish, Shanaka. It was very, his ball is on his right hand and he's ready to hand off when it was needed, and a good offload as well. Good support by the winger, by the flank, I think. Yeah, it was a good tackle, but not good enough, I think. Very, very good play by Isipathana.
Well, that was just not good enough from Padmasankar, the left-footed conversion attempt. So it's 5 points all, and with less than just about 5 minutes gone, it's 5 points all on the clock. Rinas, were you expecting this when you walked in today?
Not really. I thought they were going to take it a bit easy, but they started off their blocks really, really well. I thought St. Peters started really well. For this try, Shanaka, I thought they should have cleared the ball in the 25, played more possession rugby. It would have been good for St. Peters. But still, we have about 70 minutes left, so we should be fine. It's going to be a very, very good game, very tight game, I think.
Javikrama kicks off, and that ball bounces straight into the hands of Rahul Delpachitra. In fact, it's Vishwajit, I'm sorry. Big man.
Release it.
Delpachitra it was. He's wearing number 4 on his shirt. Impel dummies to the short gap and gives it instead to Sivaraj, who brings Javikrama into the game. Referee says there's a penalty for coming in at the side. So that's something that St. Peters will have to master their discipline on.
Well, St. Peters just didn't get the numbers to the ball there, and they had 2 players cleaning out, but Isipathana had more numbers and they got over the ball and had an opportunity to steal it, but they had a player coming in from the side, it looked like.
Interesting point Rinas made as we watch this touch kick, which goes out just in front of the 50-meter line. Interesting point that Rinas makes about not clearing the ball when they had won the kickoff cleanly, Paul. And is that just a little bit of adrenaline rushing at this point in time, trying to take on Isipathana at their own game instead of just playing the percentages?
I think they might have thought they had a little bit of momentum, and they might have had they had one up on Isipathana, so they thought they'd take advantage. It got closed down pretty quickly.
Good win at number 2. Ball doesn't bounce kindly for the scrum half, who gets hammered in the process. Hettiarachchi needs to pick himself up and get to the breakdown now. But Isipathana full of running, lovely step. This is, Fernando can't find the offload on the switch. And the knock forward saves St. Peters there, but some real intensity in the attack out wide from Isipathana.
They're just looking so dangerous. As soon as the ball goes to 13, out wide past the midfield, they're cutting them to shreds out wide. So maybe as a St. Peters, the St. Peters backs coach might get one of the outside backs to stand on the outside of the man and not let him go around the outside of him.
Vikramaratne has been causing problems, joining the line at pace. And that time Chamod Fernando just couldn't find the offload. Would have been a lovely switch if he did manage to find it. First scrum of the game should be interesting. Dinka Piris will want to assert his authority here.
Both teams hold it tight. Wait for the call.
Yeah, they'll both be looking for a good contact here and just to get one up on the other number, the opposite number there.
Fine.
It's not steady at all and doesn't look very pretty. I think Isipathana will realize that they have to get a hit on early because these speed right forwards are a lot bigger. The only big man that Isipathana boasts is on the tight head side, Vishwajit. Little difficult when your tight head is so much taller than the other 2 players in the front row, isn't it, Paul?
That's right, but he does get to lead in, so he'll be holding up the whole scrum, and as long as he's got a good straight back, he should be fine.
Good pressure coming from Isipathana, but controlled well at the back by Veerasinghe. They go on the blind side, and Jayavikrama puts up a high up and under. Chases it himself, and the ball is loose. Referee says play on, and Isipathana have it with them now. They'll look to go straight up the middle. And there was a hand in there. And referee seen it and they take it quickly. Isipathana are not going to spend any time allowing the Speedrite team to settle, looks like. Ruberu to his captain Indunil. Vikramaratne. Nice draw and pass. The number 8 gets pushed out into touch. That was Vagisha Veerasinghe. Played flanker last year. Moving into the number 8 position.
So the outside backs are looking so good. It's because of the passing. The passing's in front of the man. There's no break of stride. It just puts them away, and that's why they're looking so good out wide.
Yes, it has been pretty crisp for Isipathana. It's like a training run passing session. Mapitigama to throw in for St. Peters. Sorry, Yapa to throw in for St. Peters. And this is Vagisha Veerasinghe once again, who snuffles a loose ball. It's knocked forward, but the referee's seen it. And Isipathana have lost it on the line. So looking a proper intense battle here. Isipathana know what St. Peters' strengths are, and they're playing away from them. So that's smart rugby, isn't it, Paul?
That's right. They'll be looking to attack areas that St. Peters aren't ready for. But also there's a coaching thought that says that you should attack their strengths, because that's where they don't think they're going to be attacked.
Well, interesting one. Pressure scrum for the Peterites. Ian Palla will have to wait until this gets steady. Referee Dinka Piri is just telling everyone to calm down a little.
Okay, last scrum.
Premavardhana at the back for Isipathana, for St. Peters. A big shove coming on, but Premavardhana has managed to come away with it. Did well, the number 8, with that big push coming in. Some maul, says the referee, and he's called once. And yes, he did call a maul, so the ball goes over to Isipathana. And they've got a 5-meter scrum to play with. Watch it here.
Wait.
So we saw there that the front row got the hit on it, but also they were a bit lower. Their tight 5 were a bit lower than the St. Peters team, and they drove straight through. The number 8 did do well to pick the ball up and contest.
Well, that's a real moral victory, isn't it, Paul? When you come out with the smaller side and you're dominant in the scrum, that really sends a message to the opposition.
Well, they may, on paper, they may be smaller, but looking at their size, they're big. So if I was the St. Peters coach, then I'd be looking to maybe move those big forwards around a little bit during the game and maybe try and tire them out and just make them do a lot of work.
So Viswajit and Manambarana, the biggest units in the Isipathana pack. Rahul Delpachitan, the biggest man on the field, actually. Bianvila and Yapa are not small.
Grade number 5.
One
Grade number 5.
looks like it's Yapa that's down for St. Peters. Hopefully that's nothing serious, because he's a very key player for them. The hooker carries the ball a lot as well.
I think he was under pressure a lot in that last scrum. They got bent up and their feet were off the ground, so that's the problem.
So it looks like there might have been some foul play, Paul, and we're seeing a number 5 to Gayanath. Now yellow card being given to number 5 Gayanath, who trots off the field. There might have been something that we didn't pick up in that scrum that went on. Maybe a little bit of a stray boot or a stray hand that might have afflicted Yapa.
Yeah, when the front rows went down, the front row from St. Peters was lying prone, and maybe a knee went in then. And it looks like he might have gotten a call from the sideline, which is good to see that there's 3 officials there and they're all being active and protecting players.
It's Premavardhan actually who was down, got the scrum caps mixed up. Premavardhan at number 8, so yeah, it looks like he's gotten a punch. And that was for his trouble of picking the ball up at the back of a retreating scrum there. Sure, he won't mind, he'll do it all again in a flash. Not the greatest of touch kicks, but it's enough. and they're on the 40-meter line almost.
Center.
St. Peters.
Please keep your heads up.
So now St. Peters will be looking to speed the game up. They've got one-man advantage in the forwards as well. So they'll be looking to make sure that the Isipathana forwards will be doing a lot of work here and in quick time as well.
Yapa for St. Peters, beautifully taken at the back by Guru Singha. St. Peters managed to retain it, although it's untidy from them. Ian Palla with the lovely up and under. Vagisha Veerasinghe does well to collect it and give it to the danger man Vikramaratne, who puts a dangerous little chip in. Could have been dangerous for either team, really, the way that one bounced. Pereira manages to control it. And running in and picking that one up was Nanayakkara, because there was really no option. St. Peters now have something going on outside. Choose to come back inside though. And Heen Palla will now give it to Yapa, who's taken very high by Manabarana. Referee says hasn't signaled advantage. Thought that was a pretty high tackle. Sivaraj gives it low to Lakshan. And that's a knock forward. So small mistake by Heen Palla. But lucky to get away with that arm around the neck.
That's right, and it's dangerous because that sets a precedent for the rest of the game. If he's going to let that go, then we'll see a lot more shots coming from both sides, I'd imagine.
That came off the boot of Nanayakkara. Needs to take maybe a couple of steps back before he makes the pass, Avishka Heen Palla, to avoid his own forward's feet. Another match going on across town with Wesley versus DS Serenayake. We'll bring you scores of that at halftime as well. That ball was nowhere near hooked, so the referee will call it back. So a 7-man scrum against an 8-man scrum. Or they're allowing that now, Paul, uneven numbers at this age group.
That's right, and Isipathana will be looking for just a quick feed, and the ball out quickly, and let's get it out to their backs, and probably just play territory, I'd imagine, and get down to the next set piece and take a little bit more time.
St. Peters conceding a needless free kick there, and Kushani Dunil does well to get that ball away before he's hammered. Vikramaratne causing problems all day. Now a good angle taken by Kavisha Madhushan. And a penalty to Isipathana. My sincerest apologies to Biangvila, who scored the first try for St. Peters. Got number 1 from the wrong team. That's a very good kick from Isipathana. Just inside the 22. But they've lost their main line-out man, Paul.
So they'll just take their time here coming up to the line-out, and the pace of the game's really starting to show. I've seen a few big forwards just wandering around aimlessly, it looked like, but they're blowing a little bit hard getting from set piece to set piece at the moment.
It's good. Interesting to see what the call will be here. And it is the try scorer who takes it. That is Veeratunga. Isipathana do well to disrupt this, but Peters do well to disrupt this, but Isipathana is still going, trundling along over the prone bodies of the Peterite forwards, who fail to stop them all. So
Number 1, number 7.
Interesting call, going off their feet.
It looked like the man cleaning out was just sealing off to make sure that they weren't going to lose the ball. But interesting, 7 men versus 8, and they march the ball up. So that, you see that sometimes where a player gets sent off and the rest of the team decide, right, we're going to take this on, and we're going to make up with our with our emotion and with our adrenaline what we're losing in numbers.
St. Peters managed to clear their lines, but can a maul actually be called for something like that, Paul, where sealing off can be called when a maul collapses?
I think the player coming in just goes to ground, and the World Rugby really wants to see a contest during all phases of the game, and going off your feet and making sure that the opposition can't get to the ball is frowned on.
Yapa just overthrows that. Isipathana come away with it. So St. Peters not really doing well of making use of the one-man advantage. Manabarana wriggles his way out of a couple of tackles. Here's Ruberu now to his captain. There's the ball once again to a lovely run by Rankotge. Rankotge still going. Does he need anyone to finish it off? No, he doesn't. He's done it all himself. Brilliant try by Rankotge, one of the most dangerous centers in the school scene at the moment. And the competition between him and Thikshaneshan was the one I was looking to watch this afternoon, and the first blood has definitely been drawn by Rankotge.
Yeah, you see him take the ball just on halfway, and he just glides straight through a gap. Big, robust player, and no one gets their feet near him to put a shoulder on, and so he's just running through arms. And disappointing defence, but what a fantastic run.
Yes, that was an outside break, brilliantly done. Sivaraj misses the first tackle here, just gets fended off. Thikshaneshan tries to get him from behind, which probably has stayed with him for longer, and the captain gets fended off as well. Sandesh Jayavikram, but just not enough. Mohammad Rinaz, you did that about 33 times in one season, I think. School's record, but you would have been proud of that one.
Yeah, Shannon, I think that was a very, very good try. A couple of good side steps and a very powerful handoff. He actually made Pete Wright defense look very ordinary. Their centers, St. Peters centers didn't know what they were doing at that point. Very, very good run. Very, very powerful run, Shanaka.
Yeah, it was really an outstanding run as Hettiarachchi tries to convert but pulls it again across the face of the post. So despite a very fast start, St. Peters have not really done much in the last 15 minutes or so as we go into the break, the mandatory 20-minute break. But Rinaz, you'll be hoping that they'll come back with a little bit more fire after this one.
Yeah, Shanaka, I hope they'll come back and start the game quite fast. I think they come off from the blocks quite fast. I thought they started the game well in the beginning, then they lost the momentum for a while, and with the one-man advantage, I don't think they capitalized it. They had few opportunities. I don't think they penetrated the Isipathana defense much. I thought backs were quite flat. In the 40-meter, I saw they were quite flat and they were just waiting for the ball to come to them. On the other hand, Isipathana backs they were very deep and they were running towards the ball. That's where the difference, I thought. And also another one point with the forwards, Isipathana forwards, they were into the breakdown point very, very fast. And so we conceded a couple of penalties. I think Henry had done a great job with the forwards. They were quite mobile comparing to the Pete Wright forwards. It'll be a bit interesting. They should play more territory, St. Peters, and it's only a 5-point game now. So if next try or next score would be crucial for both schools. If Peters scores, then they'll be in the game again. So it'll be a bit tight again, I think.
Interesting point there, Paul. The depth that St. Peters are attacking from, that Isipathana are attacking from, St. Peters not really showing that same depth. John Mitchell tried to play a flat back line back in 2003. What are your thoughts on depth and just attacking flat and trying to just swing it quickly through the hands?
Well, firstly, what you need is you have to have a 9 that's going to clear the ball quickly, and I think St. Peters haven't had that 9 getting to the breakdown quick enough and clearing the ball, and that's part of it. But also maybe the setup outside him hasn't been there quick enough, and they should all be running onto the ball. And a good flat number 10 and 12 does put pressure on a defence. So if you can get it right, then it works. If you get it wrong, then you look a little bit silly.
Indeed, so it's about execution now. Certainly in the first 20 minutes, Isipathana have executed much better than St. Peters, but it's not a fundamental error. Manabarana takes this and is hit immediately by Guru Singh, who forces a knock-on. So that's the sort of thing that can spark a team, isn't it, Paul? When you come in from the kickoff, make a good tackle, just force a mistake. it lifts the
Mark here, we
spirits.
are going straight.
That's right. When you come back from a break, you really need to
Come on,
turn back
on
on,
this
and the
side.
concentration needs to be 100%. And just there, it wasn't quite 100%. Both teams looked a little bit tentative going into that contact there, but
Player behind.
they just lost the ball. The ball bounced on the ground, and now St. Peters have an opportunity 40 metres out.
Fine.
It's there for Prema Vardhana if he wants it. The blind side obviously will not be where he goes, but his open side is a good place for him. Well, he does go blind side, does a beautiful little swivel pass. Heenpalla's kick is charged down, but St. Peters still with the momentum, and now they've gotten it back. They need to set this up again, but they've knocked it on. So a little bit of untidiness at the back of this ruck is really letting them down. A couple of knock-ons when in good positions, Paul.
That's right. They need someone to take control of the breakdown, and that's the number 9's job, or the forward leader. But their urgency's there, and that's what I like to see. Although the accuracy's not there, what you want to see in your forwards is urgency, and get to the ball and make a hit and get over the top of the ruck.
Let's see whether Isipathana can defend the scrum as well as they attacked it. They do. It swivels around, but under severe pressure is Hettiarachchi. But he manages to retain possession. It's a real big push coming on, and the box kick doesn't go very far. And Padmasankha jumps too early, but it's bouncing everywhere, and Isipathana come away with it. Rankotge, the vice captain. Oh dear, that's
Look forward, taking
offside.
in front.
Playing in front of the ball.
Look forward, taking in
Player
front.
who knocked the ball on. So real comedy of errors there. St. Peters not using any of their opportunities.
That's right, and that's an underused ploy there, the defensive bomb from the 9. He put the ball up really high in his own 22, and it's not what coaches want to see, but it seemed to work out for him. No one went for the ball, and the ball bounced a couple of times and ended up coming back to St. Peters. But there you see the accuracy again. Concentration needs to be on. The ball came back, it went forward a little bit, and then releases the pressure. They were right down in there.
Yeah, and doing all their good work there. Just not the sort of ball that should have been allowed to bounce at all. Padmasankha wanted that more than anyone else did. Gayanath is back and manages to get a fingertip to this one. Heenpalla now with a little bit of depth on his back line. Here's Prema Vardhana. Goes wide quickly, but winger didn't want to know about it. So St. Peters maybe needing to recycle this a little bit more, put some structure into their game.
Yeah, they were looking. Here you can see their hips are all pointing a little bit towards the touchline, so they're looking like they're going to pass. And as a defensive player, if you're coming up and you're seeing the hips pointing towards the sideline, you know that they're going to keep drifting wide.
That's a beautiful throw in by Kavisha Madhushan. Strong as ever in the contact is Kushan Indunil, the skipper. Big bust up the middle by Viswajit. So Isipathana showing that they have the ball runners in every position. Taking that forward was Mahapitikama, the hooker. Now Hettiarachchi to Ruberu. Kushan Indunil gives it first time, and that's a lovely pass again to Padmasankha, but well tackled this time by Avishka Heenpalla, who was doing the covering. Isipathana managed to lose that, and Heenpalla spots some room at the back. On the chase comes DC Fernando, Diat Fernando, but now he doesn't make the tackle, so Vikramaratne has a chance to run this one back, which he does. Hettiarachchi, Mahapitigama goes under the tackle of Nanyakara. And it's knocked forward again. This is 100 to the dozen game, isn't it, Paul?
It's seesawing, and both teams are definitely willing. It was great play by the 9 there, putting the little kick in. And here we see the accuracy that I was talking about in the contact. The ball goes to the ground, and they've got to hold on to the ball, place the ball well, and their teammates can come over the ball and make sure that the ball's recycled.
So another good attacking scrum for St. Peters. Prema Vardhana did really well last time to take the tackle but still make the pass to Heenpalla on the blind side. It's going backwards, and really good defense by the Isipathana flanker. How he got up there so quickly, I'll never know. Sivaraj, little bit more depth this time. But Isipathana's line speed is really good. As Heenpalda goes away, he throws the dummy, but again throws the ball astray. So he's not having a great day, the St. Peters 9. Trying hard, but just nothing going right for him.
It was a good time to have a little snipe round the side. It keeps the defence on their toes. And here he looks up, he makes the pass, and that was the 12 cutting back inside, and the 13 taking the ball straight up.
Gunaratna, big run at the back of the lineout. So 2 overthrown lineouts now for St. Peters, not helping their cause. Manabarana, the big man against the other big man, Delpachitra. Defense on the fringes by Yapa. Hettiarachi. Ruberu gives it on the shot to Rankotke. And St. Peters have managed to turn that one over. Going straight over was Ruberu. Referee playing advantage, was he? No, he wasn't. And Sanjay Javikrama will kick that one out to touch, but the referee was playing advantage, and they'll come back for the penalty.
And that's why backs should probably stay in the back and not get involved in rucks, because he was way offside, and he should keep his hands out of there. But you can see the Isipathana team coming into the rucks and mauls with great speed and flying into the contact. They're accelerating into contact, but it's their body position that's really good to see. They're low, and they're coming from a low position to a high position.
Well, that's a missed touch kick. They do really well to keep that ball in play with some good skillful footwork. Padmasankar finds his captain. Lovely ball out to Rankoke with a superb pass into Vagisha Vikramaratne. Isipathana really flying at this defense. Ruberu knocks the ball forward into the hands of a green jersey. But again, superb play from Kushan Indunil, who is moving the ball beautifully. The skipper with his green headband, he's just managing to find space for his outside backs, and they're really finding that inside pass really well.
What a great run by the number 8 there, bustling run, staying inside the three-quarter backs there and collecting the ball. And they were just unlucky there. They really let the pressure off, but they were all over them there.
Big walk forward by Isipathana. That's a hook against the head. Beautifully done. Ruberu shows the dummy. Just managed to get snaffled by Lakshan.
Back.
And now Mapidigama screaming for it. Straightens the line. Hettiarachi. Ruberu. Vikramaratne with the pass to over the line. Just knocks it forward. Oh, dearie me. Chamod Fernando thought he'd scored. Just knocks the ball forward over the line, but he was ever so close.
So in the last couple of minutes, we've seen a couple of defensive plays where it's been highlighted whether you come in or whether you stay out and drift when there's extra numbers. And when the player here is inside his 22 and there's an overlap, you just got to come in and get the ball.
That was so close, wasn't it? Just lost forward. Close run thing, real pressure on the Isipathana scrum there, and the referee has no option but to give the penalty for lifting up. It's very dangerous, so I'm sure the referee will blow that up quickly. But if we had a TMO, chances are that may have even been given, Paul.
He looked like he knows the way to the try line, that's for sure, and it was great determination to get there. As just sort of came out, and the question is, was he in control of the ball as the ball hit the ground? I thought he might have been, but the referee didn't, so no try.
Well, the referee doesn't have the luxury of the replays, of course, as we do. But Chamod Fernando didn't make too much of a fuss about it, just got on with things. He probably realized the ball had slipped out of his grasp.
Also, I think being on the end of this back line, he'll know that he'll get another chance. their backs are playing so well today, and it's about the passing and the putting the ball in front. But you saw here, right in front of us, on the halfway point, St. Peters had a man down in defence, and that's a time where instead of coming up, you sort of drift and wait for more defence to come.
Peters winning that particular line out. It's not a great pass to Sivaraj. Manages to step his way out of trouble. Now needs to offload, but keeps it with him. Jayavikrama. He can't kick it out in the full, so he puts it deep for Vikramaratne. Gives it to his speedster, Chamod Fernando. Steps in, steps out, manages to find his captain. And now there's a line break. Skipper Kushan Indunil manages to find Padmasanka, but that goes behind him. Still going the play though. Lakshan manages to try and drag a player out, but the referee has come back for the knock forward. Here's the counter attack, Paul.
That's a great run from in the backfield, and the St. Peters, they came up in an umbrella, but they didn't come up in numbers in the middle, and they sliced straight through them. And there's the commentator's curse. We were talking about how good their passing's been, and it just let them down then.
Really devastating wingers today for Isipathana. Padmasanka and Chamod Fernando have both just cut through the Peterite defense like a knife through butter. Real confident counter attacks as well from this back three. And Jayavikrama will now have to rethink his strategy of kicking it deep. Might need to either find touch or keep it in hand.
I think they'll look at the chasing team maybe putting up a line and coming up as one instead of players coming out.
Oh, that's a bad mistake. Kushan Indunil manages to hack it forward, but it goes over the deadline.
So here we see a quick tap, and you see their mentality. They still want to take the ball and the game to the opposition, but the ball was just a little bit too far out in front of them, and they got away with it there. The ball going dead.
Tactical change for Isipathana by the looks of things. They've got Bandar on in the number 22 shirt to play at halfback, and the incumbent halfback Hettiarachi goes to the fly half position, and Ruberu comes off the field. Hope that's not a serious injury of sorts, and quickly taken. The short tap. Rankotge gives it to his captain, who's snaffled by Heen Palla. Manages to make it available though. Now they're lining up. Good tackle there by the number 5 for St. Peters, LNT Pereira. Vikramaratne, the 7th specialist, stepping off his right foot. Bandara, the new man, gives it to Vishwajit. Hettiarachi. It's not a good pass to Chamod Fernando, who gets smashed onto his backside by Ratnayaka. That's a good tackle. St. Peters will be happy to see a few more of those coming in today.
That's right, it's good. But the refs brought it all the way back for a... it looked like the St. Peters team were offside. And there's a penalty 15 metres in, and they take a kick, and they look like they're going to try and drive up their rolling wall.
Don't forget, you can follow this match and all our content on our social media platforms as well. We're on everything that you can possibly think of. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, the lot. So that's the ThePapare social media sites that you can follow us on. Sacked that time, Paul. Just didn't have time to set up the rolling maul as you rightly predicted. Bandara. Hettiarachi. And there's a linesman's flag up here on the far side. Hopefully we can hear what the exchange
Time!
is.
Woody. Number 8. Peters. Yellow. Hey.
I think it might be a bit of retaliation. I think Premavardhana was the man who might get a little bit of a talking to here.
there's a couple of hundred people on the sideline giving the ref advice as well, so he won't be short of advice.
Let's watch Premawardana there. Might have been a boot.
Number 8.
He does call him
Captain. Captain and number 8. Captain and number 8. I am the referee. Who's the ref? You know, wait. Stamping on the ground.
Oh, that's a straight red. Stamping was the call. Referee very clear. And Paul, there's a big difference between a stamp and a punch, especially if it's around the head. And if Premawardana has actually committed that offence, you can't really argue with the sanction.
That's right, that's a straight red card. It's dangerous play. You can't attack the head firstly and then attack the head of a player who's on the ground with the bottom of your boot. It's just not on, and they're trying to, pardon the pun, stamp that out in the game.
Absolutely. How you define stamping is if the boot moves in an up and down fashion rather than in a backwards fashion. A lot of people might be a little confused as to the difference between a stamp and a rake, but a stamp is, well, pretty much self-explanatory. If you come down with your boot on somebody's head, you're going to be sent off. They sack it again, St.Peters, and here's a try scorer, Gunaratna rather, number 7. Bandara gets snaffled by the fringe defense, but the referee will say offside. And that was taken quickly by the referee, giving a little bit of a reprieve to the number 8. Viswajit smashes it forward. Vajisha Vikramatha is incisive as a number 8, not the biggest, but. And the try scored. It was a few meters out. It was only a matter of time. And it looks like it's Vajisha Vikramatha. It looks like it's Viswajit actually, or Ekanayaka is it, who's on in the number 3 jersey.
He's a big man, and the pressure really told there. 8 versus 7.
Ekanayaka is the man who's on, and Premawardana. See if we can see it better here. This is the big hit by Viswajit first up. Ekanayaka goes in and cleans. Mapitigama it is who has a man on his back. Here's Veeratunga who cuts inside, Veerasinghe rather. And it is Ekanayaka who manages to barrel his way over. And was there a hand under that? Very difficult to say with the naked eye, Paul.
It looked like there might have been a knee, but the referee, the all-knowing referee, omnipresent, he deemed it a try, and I thought he kept them in there, kept the Isipathana in it there. Isipathana tried to take a quick tap, and the referee brought it back and let them have another go, and that was a successful conversion by 15.
Vikramatha makes the conversion, so 3 tries to 1 now, just before half-time. Premawardana out for the rest of the game as well, the big number 8, an influential player. Rinaz, you must be a little concerned now.
Yes, Shanaka, it doesn't look good for St.Peters now, especially with the red card. I think Isipathanians are a bit more organized than the Peterites. They have more composure Their momentum is there. They're carrying on the game. They're keeping the ball with themselves. Also, the Peterite kicking game doesn't really help them much. They're losing more possession. I don't think the defense is there to get the ball back. It'll be a bit difficult for Peterites to come back now. It's up to the coaching staff to regroup them and keep them focused. Who knows? I mean, if you get an opportunity, a couple of tries can change, a couple of scores can change the game pretty fast.
Yeah, you were predicting that the next score will be an important one, and this was that next score. But the red card may have tilted the balance in the favor of the home team, Isipathana. Veerasinghe, it was a dummy. Still going, Vajesh Veerasinghe is having a stormer today. Kushan Idunil, as always, there to clean up the scraps. Here's a try scorer, Ekanayaka. Rolls, double roll. Now they've got space on the outside. Hettiarachi needs to give it. Vikramaratne straightening it beautifully is Rankotge. Here's a try scorer, the man who scored the first try. He can't make it a second. He knocks it on, Veeratunga. But again, real danger when the Isipathanians put the ball through the hands.
There's so much space out wide. As soon as a line break's made, the defence seems to compact and get too close to the ruck and leave too much space out wide.
And here's half-time at this match between Isipathana and St. Peters here in the Singer Schools Rugby League. We're at Havelock Park. The ground is bathed in sunshine. The shadows are lengthening though here, and the shadows are getting a little bit darker for St. Peters, who've had a man sent off in the first half. 17 points to 5, although the Peterites did make the first score of the game. And it'll be up to them to make the next couple of scores as well if they want to get close to this green machine that keeps rolling on. And we have in the commentary box with us former record try scorer and old Peterite, Mohammad Rinas, who's back with us from last time I checked you were in Wales, Rinas.
That's right. That was in 2010. I was doing my MSc, and yeah, now it's good to be back in Sri Lanka, and good to be back during the rugby season, because I never get to come during the rugby season. So thank you very much for having me, Shanaka.
It's great to have you back. We'll be chatting throughout the course of the next 40 minutes or so. Joining me in the commentary box also Paul Toya to talk us through the next 40 minutes. Don't go anywhere. It has been an absolutely entertaining game so far, and I'm sure it will continue to be so in the next 40 minutes. Join us on ThePapare and share the passion of the Singer Schools Rugby League.
ළමයෝ දැන් data වලට ඔච්චර ලෝභ වෙන්න ඕන නැහැ. ඔන්න Dialog Home broadband එකේ data double වෙලා.
එහෙනම් ඩබල් ගෙවන්නත් වෙයි.
නෑ, තියෙන data වගේ double ලැබෙනවා පරණ ගානටම නොමිලේ. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංක එකේ සහ වේගවත්ම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් සම්බන්ධතාවයෙන් දැන් රැට data double වෙලා.
data double.
Dialog අනාගතය අදයි. This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadika, can you give me data SIM?
Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use Dialog data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need.
Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1 for 1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialog 1 for 1 prepaid plan. Dialog, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get Dialog roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries. With Dialog roaming, clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Bah. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use Dialog data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Very good afternoon and welcome back to the Havelock Sports Club ground as we watch Isipathana, the men in green, putting on a performance that Sajit Mallikarachi, the legendary rugby player, Sri Lankan rugby player as well, will be proud of in the first 40 minutes. 17 points to 5. They are leading this St. Peters team who drew first blood. But unfortunately for them, that's the only bit of good play that they've had. Made quite a few mistakes, made life difficult for themselves. Colin Denish, the coach, telling them exactly what needs to change in the second half, and that's quite a few things. Joining us in the ThePapare commentary box, Mohammad Rinaz, former record try scorer for St. Peters. I'm sure he'll be willing a comeback, but it doesn't promise much, does it, Rinaz?
Shanaka, it doesn't look good for St. Peters with man down. Number 8, I thought he played quite well until he got sent off. Talking about the red card, Shanaka, I think he let the team down and the college down by, I mean, if it's a deliberate, I'm sure it's a deliberate mistake. So I think, yeah, he let the whole team down. It's going to be a tough ask for the Peterites to come back. You never know in rugby. A couple of penalties could bring them back to the game. I think Petra is a bit lucky as well. It's only a 12-point. Isipathanians are leading by only 12 points because they played most of the rugby in St. Peters 25. They need to have a bit more structure. I think St. Peters keep the ball with them more, not kicking the ball back to Isipathanians. And the defense has to be spot on now, Shanaka, because there were a couple of missed tackles. Didn't help them much. Hopefully they'll bounce back and they'll give us a good show today.
As you said, you don't normally get to come back during rugby season, but tell us why you're back this time. A very special occasion.
It's a pretty special, Shanaka. Yeah, I came to get married. I'm here for 2 weeks, so I'll be leaving on Sunday. It's just for my wedding, and I timed it really well during the rugby season, so I can watch a couple of games.
That's good stuff. Congratulations to the both of you, the Mr. and Mrs. Rinaz, joining us in the commentary box today. Great to have you on board as we watch your old school, St. Peters, aiming to come back from a 12-point gap, 17 points to 5. And maybe the change of side for Sandesh Chavikrama's team will make a difference. As Rinaz was saying, Prema Vardhana, their big number 8 and influential player, going out for a stamping offence pointed out by the touch to referee Dinka Piris, who had no hesitation in showing a straight red card to Prema Vardhana. And if a stamp was indeed what took place, then you cannot argue with the referee's decision. Prema Vardhana didn't seem too upset by the decision. He had to accept it. There's not much protest. And Paul Toya has just been to see a man about a dog and joins us in the commentary box as Isipathana kickoff. And it's taken well by Nanya Kara that time. They'll need to start well, St. Peters, but they haven't. Nanya Kara has managed to turn that over. Tikshan Eshan shoots up out of the line. Javikrama, the ball bounces horribly for him, and he now has to dump this into the corner. His chasers are all offside. Veeratunga comes off the hand of Fernando, but the referee will come back to say that all the players in front of the kicker were offside. Do they want the penalty or the scrum?
I thought he might have blown that up a little bit early. It looked like they still had possession of the ball and they might have made a bit more of the advantage, but they were unlucky at that breakdown, St. Peters. I'm not sure how the ball pops out. It's on the ground coming back and then it pops out the other side.
I'm not wondering how that penalty was made, Paul. It should probably have been a penalty where the ball was kicked and a scrum where the ball bounced.
I actually thought it was a penalty from the kick or penalty from where the ball landed.
So scrum to... So not a straight throw that time. The first real mistake.
Line out was from there. Line out.
Right, now here we'll see the mentality of St. Peters and if they are up for this contest here. Oh, they've decided to take a line out instead of the scrum.
That's probably a smart call, isn't it, Paul? Because they've got a man down. But they've managed to win the ball back because of that knock forward.
It does put the white flag up pretty early in the second half, saying that we're not confident in our scrum winning the ball back in our own feed.
That's a better take from the number 7 Guru Singha, who's been pretty good today, one of the better pit right forwards. Avishka Heenpalla wriggles himself free of a stray arm, and his box kick is not the greatest he's ever done, but not getting a lot of protection from the referee or his teammates there.
That's right. The letter of the law says that the ruck's not allowed to drag the number 9 in, and it looked like they were dragging him in there. The referee must have missed it.
Mapita Gama to throw in for an attacking line out for Isipathana just outside the 22. That's well taken. Isipathana have not... Heenpalla comes around and engages. He's well within his rights to do that. Looks like they've been watching the ThePapare videos. Avishka Heenpalla, Sabir informs me reliably, has tweeted the ThePapare video. So Shehan Pathirana, when it's legal for him to drink, I'm sure Hinpala will buy you one. So there's no maul there, Paul. That's the reasoning behind that, isn't it?
That's right. There's no engagement. There's no player in front, and the play can come around from anywhere. It's just like a tackle ball, really. There's no offside line.
So maul rule requires one player from either side plus the ball carrier. So if nobody engages from the other side, there's no maul. That's the rationale for that rule. Another thing I noticed earlier in the first half, Paul, was that the short taps that were awarded at the scrum, the short arm free kicks, were being taken from the side where they have to be taken from behind the scrum. That's a very important facet of that.
That's right. And I've noticed in Super 15 games now that it's being taken from behind and the blindside winger joins in as well, which gives an extra man.
Chamuth Fernando, dangerous runner. Now Isipathana. They're taken early by the Pete Wright defensive line that was up too quickly that time. So they're more organized, but not behind the line.
And that was all set up by the great drill work, the organisation of the Isipathana team at breakdown. They get over and they have the right numbers there, and they just clean out so well. It's a really well drilled team.
Well taken in the balcony there by one of the spectators. And hope that catch was captured by one of our ThePapare cameramen. If it was, I'm sure you can buy it on line. And you can just call the editor at thepapare.com. All the content that's on the websites, video or photographs, all available for very reasonable prices. Chamuth Fernando coming in off his wing. Bandara. And an isolated man drops the ball, and Avishka Hinpala now comes away with it. Second time his chip has been charged down. So a little short of ideas, aren't they, Paul, St. Peters? They seem to be just putting the chip in when there's no option.
Yeah, that's right. But what I did see in that play is that on line-out plays, they seem to be putting a loose forward outside the centres just to make sure that they've got cover there.
So if you've just joined us, Prema Vardhana, the number 8, has got a straight red. So St. Peters a man down for the rest of the game. Well taken there by Guru Singha. And here's the other flanker who has come on is Seram. Yapa makes a good run. Guru Singha shifts it short. Nanyakara brought to ground, so they're playing the 3 forwards close into the ruck. Seram again on Vajisha Veerasinghe. He's got nobody with him. Desperately needs the support. Now Avishka Hinpala trying to go himself because he's really got no option. Yapa needs to pick this up at the back. And now St. Peters getting a little bit more structure into their game. They've got the penalty coming as well. Sivaraj shows the short ball eventually to Theekshaneshan. Screaming for it outside, but they keep it inside with them. Sivaraj goes in, but Delpachitra says, no mate, I'll go myself. St. Peters finally getting numbers committed. Yapa, the big run. They need him to carry the ball strongly for them. That ball is knocked forward, but not before the referee has spotted an offside.
So it looks like we're seeing the intent of St. Peters here in the second half. They're just going to hold on to the ball and build phases and build pressure. So that's the first time they've had gone through more than 4 phases, and you saw the pressure that is applied to Isipathana, and they made big inroads in, and here they're just taking up time and getting on the scoreboard, and they know how important it is just to keep the scoreboard ticking over. When you're behind, the most important thing is just to get the first points, and then the next points come, and the next points will keep coming.
Sivaraj to bring this within 9 points. It's 17 points to 8. That'll make them feel a lot happier. It's the first points they've scored since the first couple of minutes of the game.
That's right, and you just saw the structure from the line out. There was a great line out throw. They put it out. It was a work move. The tight 5 took it up, then they brought it back to the blind side again, and then they 3 passes, and they made a big break there. And that's what the coach will be asking for. Just let's go play the game patterns that we know.
Well taken once again by Anakara. That time he manages to protect it, but real intense rucking by Isipathana. Looks like they've got him high again, but getting away with it. The penalty comes. Heenpalla gets himself up off the floor, but he'll be looking askance to the touch judge, I'm sure.
Number 11.
So it looks here that it might have been a high tackle there, just around the neck a little bit. And then you see the number 3 come in from the side there. He's not coming in through the gate. His legs are around the other side. But they ended up getting the result from sealing off.
But again, a bad mistake from Jayavikrama. That's the second touch kick that they've missed. Diat Fernando watches it bounce. Oh, this could be dangerous. And it is. Kushani Duril comes away with it.
Last foot.
Beautiful chase coming up there from Padma Sankar that led to all this. Bandara, Hettiarachi. Chamot Fernando calls for it outside, spots the gap. Just can't get the ball away. And that was Veeratunga that rolls into touch.
And here we see them on attack, and the big men are all running onto the ball, and that's the advantage you have when you have quick ball. You've got all of your forwards coming forward, and it's easy to clean out instead of running back and cleaning out.
Chamot Fernando just couldn't get the pass away in time. Good tackle by Sivaraj, ball and all. Veeratunga gets dragged into touch. Seram has made an impact since he's come onto the park. Again, Isipathana not coming through the gate, getting away with it. Nanakara now. This is better from St. Peters. Heenpalla needs to link up. Here's Delpachitra. Again, Mapitigama straight in at the side. Bianvila, the man who scored the first try. Heenpalla now to Tikshan Eshan. The first time he's really got the ball in an attacking situation. Manages to get the ball away. Diat Fernando, the speedster. Diat Fernando for the corner. Diat Fernando dragged down in the 22. But now St. Peters playing with a little bit more passion and intensity. Paul, that was a good break.
It's a good break, and it's all set up by the forwards. They're taking it up. The pick and drive's excellent. They're going straight through the belly, and that creates space out wide. And you saw the inside centre there just take the ball up straight, and it manages to get the ball away. And he's fast, this man, and he almost made it all the way through, but a beautiful covering tackle. Takes him into touch.
It was a lovely tackle by Vikramaratne, the fullback, doing exactly as he's expected to do. St. Peters, they were at the wrong end of a comeback. Will they be on the right end of this one? Hettiarachi under pressure manages to get it away, but still inside the 22.
I've got to say that St. Peters are looking good in the second half there. If they can execute with accuracy, they look like they might have a chance. It was the only opportunity that Isipathana had was when St. Peters missed a kick for the line, and the defence came back. But if they can hold on to the ball, they look good.
St. Peters manages to overthrow another line out, and Kushan Idunil is the first man there. And that's a good kick. Was it carried back? And the line out was inside the 22, so it doesn't make a difference. Rinas, you've got a slight smile on your face after half-time.
As Paul said, Petrites are looking good with the ball with themselves. They look they're more structured in the second half. They're keeping the ball tight. Less mistakes. I mean, every time when they visit the Isipathana, if they can come up with at least 3 points, that will keep them in the game. Reduce the mistakes and missed tackles, we should be fine.
Beautifully stolen by Veeratunga in the middle there. And Kushan Idunil weighs up his options, decides to go on his own. His offload is not the greatest, but it still bounces into the hand of Padma Sankha. It's been that sort of day for Isipathana. Pete right forward, still trundling across the park.
Conserving energy, they call that in the tight five. They're just conserving energy and getting to the next set piece. They're really doing all the work, the tight five at the moment. They're carrying the forward pack with one man short and doing a great job at it. Now, let's see if they can continue and last the whole half.
Spoken like a true back, Paul. Mapitigama to throw in for Isipathana. They've been good in the line out so far. Veeratunga goes up on the third fake. Hettiarachi. Veeratunga. Here's Kushan Idunil being a distributor this time. Lovely little chip, and it's fallen into the hands of Vikramaratne, who just knocks it forward. Oh dear, that was a beautiful piece of skill from Vikramaratne, but the ball just didn't stick. It's the first thing that hasn't gone right for Isipathana this afternoon.
It was excellent play, excellent backline play. You can see the 7 coming across and almost getting to the ball, but the ball just moves just before the defence gets there. And that's a sign of a well-worked move, and he spots the gap in the backfield and puts that beautiful little kick in. It pops up for him and just loses the ball in contact. Unfortunate.
Jai Vikram did just enough, but St. Peters don't seem to be running a second line of cover. One thing, they're missing a number 8 to run that angle, and the other thing is that fly half and scrum half don't look like they're doubling back either, sweeping across the first line of defense. So problems to be fixed for the upcoming games. This league has a long way to go yet. And if you've got any sports events that you want us to cover, we're happy to do so on the ThePapare Lite. So do let us know on the ThePapare website. Send us an email, drop us a Facebook message. Rajesh Pereira and Colin Denish on the left of your screen there. The head coach, Colin, in the cap and the sunglasses, venting his frustrations with his players onto his assistant coach. That's what the assistants get paid for mostly.
Well, a coach's life is never easy. If the team's doing well, it's the team that does well, and if the team's going badly, that's the coach that takes the blame. And all coaches know that you're only a couple of losses away from getting replaced.
Absolutely, it's a tough job, high pressure job. Seram goes to the back of this scrum. He's made an impact since he's come on. See him this time as well. Doesn't have anybody with him. And I just don't understand why. Nobody's able to stay with Seram.
It looked like the number 11, the winger for Isipathana, just came in from an offside position and got his foot to the ball and kicked it out. And I thought the linesman might have seen that, but missed it.
He's seen the foot of Isipathana. So at least the Peterites have the line out. Rahal Delpachitra takes it at the front. Not an ideal ploy this far out from the line though. Heen Palla, Sivaraj. Makes a run, beautifully done. He needs to find that link up with his support. Now Tikshaneshan steps back inside. Good attempt at a tackle, slows him down. Straight in from the side, Isipathana, surely. Referees, let's let one go. Heen Palla Bianwiller. And now the Pete Wright forwards with their tails up. Nanyakara runs a good angle in but needs support. Again, it's Rahal Delpachitra binding on him. They're driving him forward. This is better from St. Peters. Again, isolated completely. There's very little communication in this Pete Wright pack. Avishka Heenpalla needs to direct traffic. And now there's some space. Tikshaneshan. And that's a high tackle. That one's been seen finally. The referee has allowed play to go on. Good advantage being played by referee Dinka Piris, but now he'll blow it up.
That's right, it looked like it had an opportunity. The line looked a little bit open. There was a small gap. It closed pretty quickly, but it closed with a coat hanger, that tackle where it goes up around the neck. It's like a necktie and dragged the man to ground. He's still on the ground. It's not looking good for him.
It's termed a clothesline in the WWE, but that's why it stays in the entertainment realm and doesn't make its way onto the rugby field. Referee is very strict on this sort of thing.
What I have liked from the St. Peterites is the intensity at the ruck and maul, but they're putting too many numbers into their rucks, and so you see the ball secured, and then they put another 2 players in, and that means there's 2 or 3 more players that they don't have for the next phase. And so it looks like they're confused at the back of that, at the back of their rucks.
Have you been at the end of one of those high ones, Rinas, during your playing days?
Yeah, a couple of times, Shanaka. Yeah, it was not a good position to be in. You get hit high, and there's nothing you can do about it. But what to do? Just carry on with playing, and pray that you're not going to get injured from one of those high tackles. What about yourself, Shanaka?
I didn't usually get up enough momentum for it to make too much of a difference, Rinas. I'm surprised anyone even caught you to hit you high, but luckily you played on the same team as guys like Pavitra Fernando, so you weren't at the end of that. So hopefully he'll make it up. Diat Fernando is a man that's down, one of the fastest players on this Pete Wright team.
Up.
Well, the referee goes in and says up. I'm sure he'll get up if he's able to. Couple of doctors there himself.
Just performing a little concussion test by the looks of it. The referee's in there. There's a doctor just having a look, and he's closing his eyes for a bit of divine intervention.
Well, looks a pretty rudimentary concussion test, to say the least. Diat Fernando looks more annoyed than anything else.
So now they're discussing what they did over the New Year's break, and they decided to get back on.
Number 2.
Looks like it might be another card coming here, and the question to be asked, Paul, is if that high tackle didn't come in, would it have been a try?
Well, he was close, and he looked like he might have gone through, but if you ask that question, then and the answer is yes, it would have been a try, then that's penalty try. So I don't know if we can go down there, but I love the reaction from St. Peters that this is what they've decided to do. They've got a man down, they're behind on the scoreboard, and they've dug in, and they're going to have a good go at it.
Well, the next 10 minutes is going to be hugely important. Kushan Indunil is out of the Isipathana team. St. Peters really have to make that count. He's one of their key players, their captain, and has been doing a lot of distributing today. It's been a key part, the fulcrum on which they have been built. Almost St. Peters drive it over. It was a super try from Yapa. Excellent technique. Managed to pick the ball up from the middle of that ruck and spin himself over the line. We needed a big game from him if St. Peters were going to come back, and that's exactly what they've done now.
So that's excellent team spirit, isn't it? You go on at the break, you're a man down, you're shoulders are hunched, your head's down, and your coach says something to you that sparks something inside you, and they've come out and their tails are high, they've got the momentum, the numbers are even. So now we'll see what happens next. You've got to ask, what's going to be the reaction from Isipathana? Will they come back as well? Are they going to give something sparked inside them?
Lovely turn, lovely awareness of where the try line was, and you can see what that meant to St. Peters. But Isipathana now, Rinaz, with a man down, as the influential man down as well. What do they do now? Do you think that they have enough leadership within the guys on the field to come back from this?
They look all right, Shanaka. I mean, their centre went off. It's a good plus point for the Peters as well. I think Isipathana should play more territory rugby now. Keep Peters away from their try line. That will work well for them. At the same time, I think the Peters are looking more threatening now with the ball. We should mention for that try, I think the number 10 break from the 50 meter, it played a big part to getting them there. So it'll be very close again, even numbers. I think if I'm the Isipathana coach, I would tell them to keep Peters away from the try line. That's the best thing to do right now.
Well, it's a good time for both teams to get a break, especially after the try has been scored and the defensive team have lost a man as well. So it'll be a very interesting team huddle, this one. Paul, what do you think will be said in each one?
I'd imagine that for Isipathana, they'll be saying, let's slow the game down and wait for our man to come back. So we'll walk to wall set pieces, we'll reset scrums, and as far as St. Peters are concerned, they'll be looking to up the tempo. Let's use this momentum. It's unfortunate now they've got a break, but because they had the momentum and they had some team spirit going on there, but they'll be asking for their teammates to go faster and faster again.
Yeah, so the break has come at a more opportune moment for Isipathana, I would think. And don't forget that you can follow everything that all our kids do. And these guys are kids too, but the smaller kids on the ThePapare. So all your junior sports events will be covered on the ThePapare. Don't forget to click on to that part of the site as well on thepapare.com. Sharing the passion of Sri Lankan sports with you. The Singer Schools rugby season promises to be an absolute cracker. Wesley leading DS Senanayaka by 40 points to 7 at half-time. We'll bring you the scores of that later on. But it looks like Wesley are putting their hand up midway through this season as well. Might create a few upsets on this side of the draw. St. Joseph's playing Royal tomorrow. That game is probably going to be a little closer than people imagine it would be.
Here we step into the last 20 minutes of the match, and now fitness will come into play as well as spirit and enthusiasm, and we'll see who's going to come out on top. It's such an even battle at the moment.
17 points to 15. Who is going to withstand the pressure? The kick barely making it over the 10-meter line. Kushan Indunil has abdicated his responsibilities to Sumudu Rankotge now. And Vajisha Veerasinghe, the number 8, deputizes at number 12. Goes into the inside center position in defense. So the packs will be evenly matched up now. Beautifully taken there by Guru Singha. Ball needs to be recycled to the back now. Sivaraj gives the long ball out to Thikshaneshan, who leaves it behind. That was a great pass floated out by the fly half, and Thikshaneshan, the danger man, really needed to collect that.
He did, but it all looked a little bit static. Players looked like they were maybe 1 metre too far ahead, and if you can have players running onto the ball where it looks like they're going to collect the pass, here the players got in front of the passer early, and the man collecting the ball wasn't running onto the ball as well. So maybe they need to look at their depth and run on.
It looks like Avishka Heenpalla has been replaced. Referee having a look at Thikshaneshan, wondering whether he'd gotten a concussion the way he dropped that ball.
I think he was checking the colour of his eyes. But it looks like St. Peters have got so many more numbers in their backs. If they can get the ball at any point, they'll have an opportunity there. But Isipathana are obviously putting the ball into the scrum.
So coming on is Vimaladasa at halfback. Heenpalla has tried manfully today. Couple of errors that he would wish had not happened, but he's really put his shoulder to the wheel. Let's see whether Vimaladasa can finish it off for the Peterites. Bandara feeds the scrum. Veeratunga. Padmasanka comes into the game after a long time on ice and does brilliantly. Manages to get the ball away, and Veeratunga. Is that the game? Padmasanka touched the ball after a long layoff. How he managed to get that ball away to Veeratunga, I will never know. Beautifully done on the blindside wing. And Veeratunga has been an absolute tower of strength today. He's only a little man, the number 8. But by goodness, he's popped up at all the right places.
Yeah, there we saw a right-hand side scrum, so it looked like it was a perfect opportunity for an 8-9 move down the blind side. But the 8 picked up and then missed the 9, went straight to the winger, and I'm not sure how he created space for himself. He was almost at a standing start, but he beat 3 players, drew the fullback, passed the ball back inside, and it's great backing up to score.
So Padmasanka has assisted 2 tries today. The first one scored by Veeratunga, and now the other one by his back row partner Veerasinghe. And Vikram Ratha will line up this conversion to make it a 9-point game again. So quickly how momentum shifts and fortunes change. Rinaz, you think that break came at just the worst moment for Peters?
Yes, I do think that's not the right timing for St. Peters. Most of the second half, I think Isipathana were on the back foot and they showed a great character, especially with the man down coming back and scoring. That was a very, very good try and good offload too, good support as well. That's what Peterites are lacking a bit as well. They make the breaks and they don't have enough support to score tries. I think, the Isipathana got one step ahead now. Shanaka, I think it's just going to be a bit tight for St. Peters to come back now.
Let's see how it goes. There's still 1 score in it. That conversion was important because it would have taken them out to beyond 1 score. But now it's a 7-point game, which means that St. Peters still have... Sorry, it's a 9-point game. My mathematics deserting me this Friday afternoon. Here's a try scorer again, Veerasinghe. Beats the first man every time. Bandara waits for it. How that came back onto the Peters side without a hand being involved, I don't know. But again, it's been juggled. Etiarachi under serious pressure manages to wriggle under the man. Knocked forward. Referee will play advantage. Now they've got to spin it quickly. Delpachitra. In fact, that was the big number 27, Rodrigo, who's now on the field. So again, as Rinaz was pointing out in the first half, Paul, a lot of static play from St. Peters, a lot of flat standing still ball.
That's right, and it looks like they just need to come back 1 metre and run onto the ball, but maybe that's what they're doing. They've decided to take it up flat and in the back line, and that's their game plan for the season. But the game's twisting and turning all over the place. Momentum seems to be shifting, and now St. Peters have got a shot at goal.
Tries coming out of nothing. This one to bring it back down to within a reachable score. Sivaraj with his most difficult kick of the afternoon so far. Strikes it well. And it's good. So that brings us to a 6-point game. 16 points to 22. Sivaraj has been key to the scoring efforts of the Peterites as well. Distributed well and made the break for their last try.
So this is a great lesson in never giving up. Both teams are giving it everything until the last minute, and who's going to win this game is still up in the air. It's twisting and turning like a twisty-turny thing.
Absolutely, Paul. And St. Peters will remember well how they lost a game in the last 5 minutes, so I'm sure they'll be able to win the game in the next 5 minutes as well. Is there going to be... Oh dear.
Looked like the man was taken in the air, and
I think he got a little bit more than he bargained for his trouble as well.
So the referee believes he was taken in the air as well. And does he deem that as being dangerous play? If he does, then he'd give a yellow card, but he obviously didn't think it was very dangerous.
Well, that would have been a problem if Isipathana conceded a yellow card and they would have had to play with 13 against 14. At the moment, St. Peters not really showing the effects of being a man down. Premawardana sent off in the latter half of the first half. Number 27, Rodrigo, is a big man on the park. They'll need him to carry the ball a lot against this tiring Isipathana defense. But that's a beautiful steal again from Weeratunga. He's done that a couple of times. Veerasinghe now with the long ball out to Padmasanka. Looks to go on the outside. Manages to stay on his feet and come back inside. Excellent play from the right winger. Isipathana capitalizing on the offside. Penalty advantage now. Screaming for it is Chamot Fernando. His pass floats out to Weeratunga, and now Fernando puts his head down. Manages to stay in the field of play beautifully. Pagisha Veerasinghe has been everywhere today. Bandara to the other try scorer Ekanayaka, who bundles his way forward. Still going. Big run from the prop. Bandara again. Hettiarachi takes it well off his bootlaces. Wickramaratne. Dancing feet. And now it's the danger man. Rankothge gives a big handoff in. Now gets it away to Gunaratne. That looked like it was a borderline tackle there as well. Bodies flying all over the place. This is the stuff of legend, Paul.
It looks like these teams have just taken to the field. The enthusiasm and the fitness is really coming through, and they're flying into contact. You see the beautiful dive pass there, which is the thing of the past that's being brought into the game today. Beautiful dancing feet from the Isipathana man, and half gets through a gap, and see the clean out here. The good setup, staying on their feet and getting away again. And the cover defence that comes across here and nails the man in the corner was excellent.
Isipathana in the 22 against his big forward pack now. Looking for the turnover, St. Peters. And now Hettiarachi has some numbers. Kushanidunil is back. Padmasanka straightens it. Wickramaratne has to take it again. Very low to the ground. Does well to hold the ball. Bandara, Hettiarachi. Good play by the skipper, who's returned from the bin. St. Peters somehow snuffled that one on the ground, but it's not a great kick. Wickramaratne still dancing through. Not held, so he manages to break into the 22. Bandara. Here's Veerasinghe again. Takes it to the line. Padmasanka, who has been excellent today. Bandara looks to go blindside again. Steps through! Rodrigo gets him in the end. The big man on the small man. No knock forward there, so referee waves play on. And now they've got numbers over on the outside. Rankothge steps in, gets a hand off, and that's the try that seals the game, surely. Rankothge with his second try of the match stands strong. And with the big fend, there's no stopping this man from 5 meters out.
It looked like they had the numbers there to cover him as well. He stepped inside, he fended and went back outside, and then went through a hole and scored, and green flags are waving all around the paddock. It's an excellent try, and great pressure there from Isipathana. We see it comes to him here. He's got two players in front of him, steps inside one. And you see the ball changes hands, big fend, through a gap, a little acceleration. Beautiful try, and everyone stands up in the stands and starts screaming.
Well, the news from across the park, 53 points to 5, Science College against Kingswood. And in a very big, high-scoring game, 64 points to 7, Wesley against DS Serenayaka. This one is also a pretty high-scoring game with the kick to come. It's 27-16 at the moment. And Wickramaratne adds the extra 2, so it'll be 29-16. Mohammad Rinaz, former record try scorer of St. Peters, looks on. He had a small smile on his face as St. Peters began their comeback. But now Rinaz looks like it's a little mountain, a little too high to climb.
Yeah, Shanak, I think we kept it a bit too late now. We looked quite good about 10-15 minutes of the second half, but I think Isipathana kept focused, and they're up for the task today. I think they were the better team. Hopefully Pete Rides will come back from this defeat. Oh, still we have time, so yeah, hopefully they'll bounce back, and still we have a long way to go on the season, so yeah, a couple of wins would do for us now.
Oh, Padma Sankar, what a chase. Still going, still going. Now he's brought down. Kushan Indunil grabbed by the bootlaces. Bandara gives it across to Hettiarachi, and the try is there for Fernando. The floodgates have opened, and Padma Sankar Paul, the right winger, has had a hand in 3 of the tries that Isipathana have scored. He's worked so hard even without the ball in hand. He's chased down every kick and has made luck work for him.
That's right, and even when his team's in front and they've just scored a try, he's still chased like everything meant. It meant everything, and caught the ball, got a lucky break, and was unlucky not to get through and score the try himself. Here you see him, he's putting in the hard yards. St. Peters have been doing it tough with the man down short, but the ball bounces right for him. Fortune does favour the brave, and a couple of side steps. He's 5 metres out here, and he just gets dragged down in time. And Isipathana are flooding through, they're getting to the breakdown. Good, excellent scrambling defence here from St. Peters. They're down already, and they almost get across, and the winger scores in the corner.
Tackle almost coming in there from Nonis, but it's a little bit too late. And Wickramaratne, the fullback who has sparked so many counter-attacks, manages to get this through the posts as well. So it's just one of those days. The spirit of Sajit Mallikarachi is strong over this team. Isipathana have put in a performance that deserved to win this game.
That's right. It was a close match for a long time, and the scoreline of 36-15 really doesn't do justice to the closeness of the encounter.
Veerasinghe again. It's been everywhere today. Now the ball coming through. The referee hasn't said anything. Sandesh Javikrama will have a rare chance to run. He's had very little opportunities, the Pete Wright captain today. Isipathana still flying into those rucks. They concede a penalty that time though. Javikrama, now the captain, leading from the front. And coughing the ball up, and now Padma Sankar will put the hammer down again. No fullback. Oh, that's a crazy kick. And Kushan Indunil does brilliantly. Is it going to be a hat-trick for Rankotge? It is. A hat-trick for Samudra Rankotge. The vice-captain has profited from some excellent play from his centre partner. St. Peters just at 6s and 7s, Paul.
That's right, there was a crazy defensive kick, a little chip kick into space for Isipathana to run onto, but the numbers that Isipathana had there was what was the telling factor there. The whole teams continued to run and run and run, and they were all there at the end, and the referee's just discussing with the linesman about whether that was a try.
No try!
No try, says the ref, so they're going all the way back. The linesman has spotted an infringement, and that's good refereeing to come back and say, look, this happened, mate, and it's happened way back there, and we need to deal with it.
It's really saved the blushes of the winger who put in that crazy little kick. He really didn't do himself any favours, and it looks like maybe the ball went out, or I think that maybe the chasing players were just in front of the kicker at 9.
There was a hand in the ruck is what the referee's signal was there. Delpachitra bustles into the 22 and loses the ball. Lovely angle from Vikramaratne, straightened it beautifully. Straight through the gap goes Rankotge again, so it's not to be a hat trick for him. Veeratunga. And Dikshan Eshan finally gets a chance to run at the Isipathana defense. Isipathana have been really good in keeping the ball away from him today. And we've got to discuss man of the match performances today, Paul. And obviously the try scorers. Rankotge has scored a couple of tries. Padmasankha has had a hand in a couple of tries. And Veerasinghe scored a try and also put in a good shift at number 8. So what's your call?
My vote would go to the number 12 of Isipathana. I thought he had an excellent game and really made a difference every time he touched the ball. Although you've got to give a special mention to the winger who's played on the other side as well. He's on the other wing, the number 11. He's had a great game also.
Well, don't disagree with that one at all. Kushan Idunil has been a real pivot of this side today. He's managed to distribute the ball beautifully, run when he had to, and put in the defensive yards as well. He's been a real inspiration. St.Peters not leaving anything on the park. They are going to try it and get back into this game, at least on the scoreboard. Rodrigo, his body position is very upright, so he's easy to bring down even though he's a big man. Dikshan Eshan once again. And again, a bit of a juggling act by the Peterite halfback. It's been a story of too many mistakes for the Peterites today. And barreling over the line is Seram. It's made a big difference since he came on.
And that's just the excellent spirit from St.Peters to keep at it. The scoreboard says that they're losing, but their spirit doesn't say that at all, and they keep going right to the end.
That was it was actually scored by Pereira, the number 5, that try, and not by Seram. And that brings us to the end of the game. So Pereira's try was the last bit of action in this game. 36 points to 21 it finishes, and the man of the match this afternoon is Kushan Indunil. And a big thank you to Mohammad Rinas for joining us in the commentary box today. The ex-Peterite unfortunately couldn't see his team pull off a win against Isipathana, but Rinas, I'm sure, for the memory of Sajit Mallikarachi, whom you played with for a couple of years, I'm sure that you don't grudge this Isipathana performance at all.
Not at all, Shanaka. Yeah, I mean, they showed good spirit and good character, especially with Sajid Mallikarachi. I think scores doesn't do any justice, as Paul said before, but because it was pretty tight for a long time. But I think Isipathana were the better team. They were more organized, and I think Peterite should get back to their basics and bounce back from this defeat and get a couple of wins to the college. Thank you for having me, Shanaka. It was a pleasure working with you both. Thanks.
Thanks very much for joining us, Srinivas. Congratulations on your marriage and safe travels back. And just to actually correct ourselves, the man of the match is Sumudu Rankotge on this occasion, not Kushan Indunil, probably because he did get a yellow card as well. So perhaps just for that we might take it away and give it to his centre partner, who had an absolutely fantastic game. But it's been a really entertaining game of rugby today. 36 points to 21, and that's how it finished off. Don't forget to tell us exactly what you thought of the game as well while you're watching. All the replays will be available. And here's the breakdown of the game. 6 tries scored by Isipathana against the 3 scored by St. Peters, although they did score the first one. 3 of them were converted. Isipathana conceded 2 kickable penalties to Sivaraj, who kept St. Peters in the game. But that final flurry, just a little bit too much ball.
That's right, but as I mentioned before, the spirit of both teams was excellent. Nothing was left to chance, and actually I thought Isipathana might have turned off right at the end because there was that 5 metre penalty, and they didn't form a defensive line, so they let a try and right at the end, which wasn't good for the coach.
Well, that's the story from the Havelocks grounds, and Sajid Malik Arachi watching over this from wherever he may be. I'm sure he's happy that his team have turned on the performance that they did today. He'll be hoping that they can go all the way as well, and judging by the performance this afternoon, who's to say they can't? St. Peters have proved a stern test, and Isipathana have passed it with aplomb. We'll be bringing you the action from the Trinity versus St. Thomas's game tomorrow as well, live on ThePapare.com on our 4-camera production there as well. So don't forget to join us. If you're not making it up to Kandy, join us wherever you may be in the country on ThePapare.com, sharing the passion of this Singer Schools rugby season.
ළමයෝ දැන් ඩේටා වලට ඔච්චර ලෝභ වෙන්න ඕන නැහැ. ඔන්න ඩයලොග් හෝම් බ්‍රෝඩ්බෑන්ඩ් එකේ ඩේටා ඩබල් වෙලා.
එහෙනම් ඩබල් ගෙවන්නත් වෙයි.
නෑ, තියෙන ඩේටා වගේ ඩබල් ලැබෙනවා පරණ ගානටම නොමිලේ. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංකකේ සහ වේගවත්ම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් සම්බන්ධතාවයෙන් දැන් රෑට ඩේටා ඩබල් වෙලා.
ඩේටා ඩබල්.
ඩයලොග් අනාගතය අදයි.